TOM, teachers of Maat. Who am I today? The scribe, been forever, but the name changes with the times. I come from a place where space is home. I go into realms where your face is gone. A change gon' come. As a teen, hypnotized deep in a sleep, party and slumber. 11 life path number, a life of death that's rebirth. Recall realities to reemerge. Soul purge, I'll lend you frequency like loan words. Before I teach, I'll spit a poem first. Step on stage, set the stage, car walking, set ablaze, divine fire. The body is divine attire, sewn from words. Sound frequency, awakening dreams. Don't pinch me every day I wake up, it's a home birth. Start from zero to become the heroes. Cycles of time causes expansion of mind. Potential is exponential. Gain XP, what your power made of. I've had to face self-face to fate, a double fate. What will I make of the present? I'm just trying to pet heaven. Twice great, 2 arms up is none to wave. It's nothing to wave. God separate the waters from the waters. Genesis 1 and 6. See, that source is thousands of years prior to a Bible even existing. It's called the pet word for heaven. Watchers of noon, primordial, pre-ordered, bringing order in order. Its law the scales will represent. A double gift, re-present, Ray is present. Ra, amen to the God inside. The crown will glow as consciousness grows. So what assignment are you on? Doubles. Bodies from walking. I do my best to do my best. Lead with the left, heart out my chest. By a step out of the flesh. On my crown is the Nemez, Corona shining. I do my best to do my best. Lead with the left, heart out my chest. By a step out of the flesh. On my crown is the Nemez, Corona shining. Serpent mind winding in alignment. Straight from Orion, the origins. Dig into the root, Kim originals, the oracle speaking. Your aura is gleaming. The sons of God, Amen, Ra. Who can't afford a reason to fall below your own means, meaning reaching beyond the firmament ceiling. I see linguistics tricking us deep into sleeping. The way we live inception, I must be dreaming. Doubles, double L, square roots, mirrors, reverse the image. My grip is slipping. Almost forgot the point of the mission. Statements point out all the contradictions. Blatant truth lives where my eye is foundation. Yeah, co-founded a nation. Dictionary study spells can be scary. Etymology, this here is completion. Cycle circles, dualism, wisdom. I peddle flowers. 2 eyes are watching to see through the double realm I'm healing. Never out of what's within him. Infinite reasons, just like my brother Arcad. Always remain calm against demons. Death culture, to be alive here, it's a lie here. They crossed us into thinking that death isn't living. The lies are falling through my palms, arm wide, holes in my hand. The Pope's in command, I demand the throne back. Ancient teachings, I'm a throwback. Picture that, see this moment here is cold that. So black, I see through lies. Why they hold that, ocean motions. I'm flowing through noon in the boats of consciousness. My tongue is rolling, planting seeds, sowing. Knee of speaking, untangled quantum DNA, spitting frequencies. I hear Christians scream hallelujah. And this ain't that the name of God is God. I must bring the order back, the scales are tipping. In the court of Allah, moonshine, Tehuiti is Yah. This here is Ptah, bulldozing. The one chosen, focus. When the light hits you, just open like lotus. Melt your mind when in mind time is frozen. Blow minds, my mind is golden. Coat me in gold, I've got a gold coat round me like I'm Tutankhamun. Like his when you spell my name, put 3 lines in. Scribe, presenting the law's findings. Who's he? I me, an echo of Tehuti. Yes, I do my best to do my best. Lead with the left, heart out my chest. By a step out of the flesh. On my crown is the Nemez, Corona shining. We do our best to do our best.
Yo, let's go.
on moving. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. Keep. I had to relearn what a brother is. I had to relearn what a sister is. I had to relearn what a mother is. There is no other him. Watch your mouth, fix your lips. I am learning to compartmentalize what I find with my mentals. I could have been labeled mental voices in my head. If I speak to the wrong one, I'll be diagnosed schizophrenic. Creating pollution you can't escape from. We're Captain Planet. Where's Captain Planet? And it's exactly how they planned it. It's insanity, stayed in a state of sanity. But I'm the scribe, keep a record on the record. I break records. This, that, medu, nature, echo, living, lively, times 3, Trinity. We are not the same, not even similes. Plant the seed, a man receive excellence, adoration, testament, evaluation, literally. The love is real, yet they be hating. Salutations, I wait to master patience. Acting lackadaisy on your facts, I'm backed by conscious beings. I am free, king, lock the wings in. The diction is firm, call me men. A man, 3 in 1, erection, protection, firm. Spitting life into who I speak to like sperm. Creation is aid who I earned. The right to fully see it through. The heart as I rise through. Manu, Akut, lost it when I had to find you. I'm through, times 2, dualism, we will align soon. As I meditate in my room, it becomes a space of pure truth aligned with my art. Verbiage is time for more than the 2 eyes. I can see the veil underneath that other veil. Focus when I am locked in. I don't need a cell. Tell me you don't see the traps. Tower power over enemies, frozen over hell, reversing spells. Fell from the skies, the body is disguised. If you needed a sign, well this is it. I hope you read between the lines, left, right. After the first step, I write what's left in me. This is destiny, keep on moving, especially if you find blockage. No amount of pushback will stop this. This will get capped in stone, they cannot top this. Pyro, fire, Ba is my attire. Inspire the ones chosen, the ones open, the ones spoken. From times when life was once spoken. Enchantments, Nesu, double tongue in motion. Give, receive, keep moving and move for keeps. Keep it real, keep the master key. I had to master me. Mirror glass shattered in my dreams. I didn't like the image till I realized I am the image of the image. I'm here for keeps, keep your distance. Social gimmicks, our stories told within the hieroglyphics. Mystics, just keep on living, we're gifted. Our stories told within the hieroglyphics. A language living, just keep on living. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. Keep. I had to relearn what a brother is. I had to relearn what a sister is. I had to relearn what a mother is. There is no other him. Watch your mouth, fix your lips. Yeah, motivate a nation. Stepping out the spaceship, causing a spaceship. Faced with revealing the spells within this matrix. From the Masons, but I'm the architect. Best respect, I can architect. Royal rulership, I hold the heck. Control my thoughts, still move when the game is paused. We speak heck up, this is the best of Medu Necha, bars like Wi-Fi, we're connected. Always on time, frequency and flow through frequency. I know the power I hold in my throat. Creation, destruction, with every single thing I've spoke. Enter, netter, curt, show your worth. Heal from all the hurt, not a singer, best believe I hold a note. Read between the lines, you're not really lost in that I hope you find exactly what you are looking for. This is more than words, taught myself to heal myself. I come from the dirt, no time for slacking or bad habits. Sad tactics of bringing mad tragic mental processes that lack passion. Spit fire, black dragon, school of hard knocks, send you backpacking. My eyes, when this appears, it's like magic. The fact is, when it's wartime, we go savage. Shield of armor 720, prevent backstabbing all the fiends of good-hearted beings. They don't suit the role, they lack the fashion. So just keep on moving. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. Keep. I had to relearn what a brother is. I had to relearn.
Hotep. Welcome everybody to the House of Aten, Study Guide Sundays. Ancient Tehuti and Teachings of the Natiru presents the Admonitions of an Egyptian Sage. Before we begin, we will, as we do every week, with our beautiful affirmation. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Unki and Maat, An and S, Nintet or Set and Maat, Men Hepapet and Maat, Her Inhu Kiwi, Her Ikut. I live for Maat. I exist within her. I do not speak in the place of Maat. Every day I advance towards Maat. My being is surrounded in darkness. I come forth as conscious light. Hotep Maat. Peace and love, everybody. Welcome to another great show. I am ATEF Maat. I'm the chairman of the organization, Teachings of Maat, House of Aten. I am the host of this weekly study guide. I'm a true-hearted follower based on truth and ancestral artifacts over religious opinion, a love of my people, dedicated to learning the metal netta, and a loyal defender of Maat. Next, we have the great general Ahati Maat. Ahati Maat was taught under the great Tehuti Amenhotep Ra. He has been a serious student and teacher of Kemetic culture and history for several years. He has written multiple books, including the textbook called Journey of Your Soul series, essays, and articles. Furthermore, he hosts in-person and online classes, weekly podcasts, and periodically creates documentaries. And he is responsible for the creation of this study guide. Next, we have the scribe, Ptah Aten Tehuti, is a writer, poet, spoken word artist, audio producer, engineer, healer, spiritual advisor, consultant, and business creator. He is a master student of the Natiru, a true follower and protector of Maat, a scribe of Tehuti and Maat. He studies under the master teacher, Saba Tehuti Amenhotep Ra. For the scribe, quality always outweighs quantity. He enjoys observing reality and incorporating these observations into his writings and creations to assist in awakening dormant DNA and reversing of negative hypnosis. Next, we have the mighty Menkhu Meri Maat, specializes in training and educating youth workers, counselors, educators about arts, culture, and history. He travels the world to experience how people live, and he shares it with everyone who is interested in learning from the research he has witnessed. Menkhu has a master's degree in entertainment and media business and has been working in the music industry and with nonprofit agencies providing program planning and promoting concerts and community events in Madison and LA for over 30 years. During that time, he has facilitated the following innovative after-school programs for Madison School community recreation, including Hip Hop 101, Music Production 101, and MP4 programs for youth. Welcome to the House of Aten, Study Guide Sunday. Peace, great brothers.
Peace, great brothers.
Hotep, peace and love, everyone. This is wonderful to be back. I hope you all was able to watch our great Saba Tehuti perform on Chris Harris' channel. Chris Harris interviewed our great Saba and got to see some discussion there. So I hope you all was able to be a part of that and witness that. And if not, you can always go back, as YouTube allows us to go back and forward with the recordings here on YouTube. So if you weren't there live, you can go back and watch that. And great brother Primordial Thought 9, if you could post a link to that actual video in the chat room, that'd be excellent. So peace and love to our great moderator, Primordial Thought 9, who says, welcome back to a true channel of Maat where Isfet cannot exist. This is the House of Aten. Absolutely wonderful. And so at the beginning of the show, we see that we have a new member here on YouTube. We have Minty Hotep. So let's give her a round of applause for becoming a member here on YouTube and supporting the House of Aten in the many ways that she does. To our wonderful sister, you know, for being as consistent as you are and for supporting us in the many ways that you do. It's very much appreciated. So let me see if I can pull this up really quick. to show you all what this where this is if you all want to access that. So if you look on the YouTube right next to the name where the subscriber list is, you see this button here that says join. That is how you join the YouTube membership, and this is an excellent way to also support us in the many ways that are available. So we would love for you all to also join us here on YouTube by clicking that button right there next to the House of Aten. Okay, so great brother Menkhu, peace and love to you. If you have any words you want to speak to the people about, anything upcoming, that'd be wonderful, great brother. Hotep.
Peace, everybody. December 16th is the 2nd year anniversary of the Tehuiti pod class. We will be uplifting, celebrating our master teacher, Saba Tehuti, and we will also be uplifting and honoring each other for all of you that has been on this journey with us for the last 2 years. It's going to be a very special day. Make sure you send in what was requested of you to send in as part of the ceremony that we will all be participating in. And man, that seems like, man, time is just flying. You mean to tell me that January 1st is gonna be my new Earth Day, or not my Earth Day, but my Ren Day that I got a Ren. That was almost a year ago. So Saba started the pod class 2 years ago. It seems like a long time. 2 years seem like that just flew by. But I'm old, you know what I mean? Time is it's a different thing for me. Probably the oldest person in the pod class. So, but anyways, I'm so excited, to, continue to have these milestones with my family. You guys are my family. I'm excited. It's just, we're going to give Saba his flowers, you know what I mean? 2 years is, the 1 year is cool, but 2 years, like, okay, more stability that, this is going to be a continual thing. So I'm very much looking forward to December 16th. Behind the scenes, we're doing what we do to make things happening. Shout out to Ptah for putting together this flyer, as he does, the funky architect. I can architect, you know what I mean? He is super amazing. So it's just going to be an opportunity for us to share our talents, give support, and do all the things that we need to do to celebrate the great nectar, Saba Tehuti, on his journey. And when we're celebrating Saba, we're celebrating ourselves, right? Because we're a part of the energy that's making this thing happen. So I'm excited, and I will pass on that to
Yes, to our great brother. And for those of you who are in the Discord, I put out a request for everyone there in the Discord. So I look forward to receiving the responses on that. And if you're not a part of the Discord, that link is also in the bio. And the great moderator will also post it as well. So you can join our Discord community. We have monthly community meetings. We had one this past Thursday, and it was Nefer. It was wonderful. To everyone who came out and lended your energy and let us hear your tones of expression. And it's a wonderful support system that we're building between each other. And it's a great place to come together and know that you have support with and around you. So for everyone who's in the Discord, stay alert in the Discord, because I am making some requests there. And if you all would hit that link and join us on Discord, that'd be wonderful. So Hotep and Tua, I want to say peace and love to everyone on Rumble. We're also streaming live on Rumble as well. This is a wonderful platform that is a lot less restrictive than YouTube. So sometimes videos get taken down. Sometimes we have to cut things out of the videos per YouTube's restrictions that they have, and Rumble here is an excellent platform that will always have a backup of our videos in case anything ever happens here on YouTube. So you can go over there and subscribe as well. Our great Saba Tehuti has a MetaNetter class, MetaNetter Mondays. It's fantastic. So everyone email the great Saba, mysticaltelevision@gmail.com. It's 1:30 p.m. Pacific time every Monday. If you can't be there with us live, you can receive the recordings. And all you have to do is reach out to the great Saba here through his email. We are 59 classes in, and 59 classes of straight teachings the way that Saba does within his podcast. So join in on that. And we also have, let me show you the updated one, houseofaten.org. You can go to MetaNetter and also find it there as well. And then we also have the Maat Wisdom Wednesday classes for all of the wonderful Nefer members of the House of Aten. If you want to become a member of the House of Aten, just go to our website, houseofaten.org. Those links will be posted in the chat, and it's also in the bio. And you can message me. There's a message system there, or you can email me, Ptah@houseofaten.org. And yes, become a member. It's a wonderful place to be creative within your expressions and apply it towards Ma'at. And so I offer these Wisdom Wednesday classes where we go through the ancient Sebaid, which is the MetaNetter word for instructions of Ma'at, 2 or 3 times a week, depending on the Wednesdays that follow throughout the month. But it's a wonderful place and a great, excellent class, and it's free that I offer to all the members for being members. So you can join in this class for free when you are a member. All right, and let's see. And here we have the support for the House of Aten. If you want to support us, in which we are a system based on reciprocity, to be reflections of our great Saba Tehuti, who is teaching us that knowledge is not free. Knowledge was stolen. And people pay thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars to get educations every single day, and do not end up participating in the actual career that they're paying all this money to go to school for. So we are bringing back the Per Unks, which is the House of Life, which was a place of knowledge and information that the ancient ones would go to. And so we're asking for your support so we can continue to build the way that we do, to bring all the high quality information, the websites, the merchandise, the Pathways to Awakening event, the talent shows where we offer $150 prizes, $250 prizes. So you all assist us with being able to build a community around Ma'at. So if you want to participate in that and appreciate what we do, send us a PayPal or a Cash App. And you can also join the YouTube membership by hitting join next to subscribe. And I've seen someone say that they don't see the button there, which if you're on the mobile, it may not be there on mobile phone. But if you go in the bio, it says join this channel to access perks. And then it has the link right there for you to join as well. So you can do that as well. So that's many ways to support us, and we appreciate all of our great supporters. So before we get into the reading today, I'll show the support that came in prior to this class. And there's one to show, and so we'll show that because we always want to give our adoration to the wonderful supporters. Okay, let me share my screen here. And we have Nook Emmanuel Rodriguez. Who sends in three for Ma'akaru Ma'at. Hotep to you, good brother. Peace and love. Wonderful supporter, a House of Aten member. So peace and love to you, Tua, for all the support that you provide for us and for being a wonderful student. This great brother came out to the PTA, the Ptah, the Pathways to Awakening, and got to meet this brother in person. So to our great brother for all the support that you provide to the House of Aten and to the great Saba Tehuti. All right. So let me put the banner up. So it is scrolling at the bottom. So if people come in, they know the Cash App and PayPal for the House of Aten. Okay, so now we'll pass it to the great brother, ATEF Rim Kim Maat, so we can get into this wonderful, wonderful reading here. Hotep, great brother.
I think you're on mute, great brother. ATEF.
Yeah, we don't hear you.
Hotep, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, peace and love. Welcome, everybody. Yes, let me pull up my screen share.
Yo, let's go.
Come join us, House of Aten, Ancient Tehuti, and teachings on the Chiru. Back to the source, we the original Axemen. Screen share. Okay. Can you see?
Yes.
All right. Can you still see it, even when I'm messing with it like that? All right.
Yes.
So we're going to be reading the Admonitions of an Egyptian Sage. This text is known as the Admonitions of Ipuwer and is preserved in only a single copy of Papyrus Leiden 344. The papyrus itself dates from the 19th dynasty, but the text is a copy of an older document. The date of its composition is highly uncertain, and various suggestions have been made as to the time of its writing. A.G. Gardner had it dated to the 12th dynasty and had seen it as a reflection of the chaos which he claims pervaded Egypt during the first intermediate period. The text is unlikely to have been that early, and more probable and more widely accepted dating would place it at some point during the late Middle Kingdom. The text presents many difficulties in translation and interpretation, some of which are probably due to errors by the scribe who translated it. Okay. Moreover, both the beginning and the ending of the text have been lost. Due to the large loss at the beginning of the text, possibly 40 or 50 verses, we have no way of knowing the exact setting in which the speech of Ipuwer was purported to have been made. The final conclusion of the work is also unknown, although one may presume that there must have been some kind of summation speech either by the king or by Ipuwer himself. The text may be said to fall into the general category of national calamity literature, a format based on the reflection of the postulated upheaval which took place during the first intermediate period. In all likelihood, however, this setting is used here as a literary device in order to present a treatise describing the document, the dramatic contrast between a situation of order and one of disorder, Maat as opposed to Isfet. The text is aristocratic in nature, and one of its main complaints is that the lower classes have usurped the place and prerogatives of the wealthy nobility. Ipuwer is portrayed as addressing the king whose name is not known. Although it may have been mentioned in the lost beginning of the text, as the text unfolds, Ipuwer in somewhat repetitive language describes the lawless and chaotic situation within Egypt. The rich made poor and the poor made wealthy, the lack of food and other necessities, the absence of social stability, and the total uncertainty as to anyone's future or safety. He urges the monarch to try to establish order again in the land and to observe the traditional rituals of the religion in order to obtain the help and support of the Natiru. For the first published version of this text, see A.H. Gardner and the Admonitions of the Egyptian Sage from a hieratic papyrus in Leading, Lespeg 1909. For a more recent publication, see W. Helk Dye, Admonitions, Papyrus Leading I 344 Recto, Wiesbaden 1995. This edition also contains a German translation. It is this later edition which has been used in the preparation of the present translation. Other translations of the text exist, among which is that of R.O. Faulkner in JEA 51, 1965, 53 through 62, and reproduced with a few minor changes in the early edition of this book. Merriam Litchum's translation in Ancient Egyptian Literature, Volume 1, Berkeley, 1973, 149 to 63 follows Faulkner's interpretation quite closely. Although some differences may be noted, a more recent translation is offered by R.B. Parkinson in his book, The Tale of Sinehu and Other Ancient Egyptian Poems, 1940 to 1640, B.C. Oxford, 1997, 166 through 99. The later translation also includes a good number of useful notes. The doorkeepers say, "We shall go and pillage," and the makers of sweets. The laundryman refuses to take up his load, and the sailors, the catchers of birds have marshaled their fighting forces. The men of the Delta marshes bear shields, and the brewers of beer. Verily, every face goes white with fear. Verily, every man is distressed, for a man sees his son as his foe, and rancor is everywhere. Verily, every face goes white with fear. And one man incites another, "Come take control of the mob." Verily, verily, every face goes white with fear, for now is fulfilled what was fated for us in the time of Horus, in the age of the Ennead. Verily, verily, every face goes white with fear. A man of integrity goes mourning for what has happened in the land, but a man of depravity goes about in glee. Verily, and foreigners have overrun the whole Egypt. Verily, every face goes white with fear. Verily, for what men of old foretold has come to fulfillment. Verily, every face goes white with fear. Verily, there are none who can escape. Verily, every face goes white with fear. For citizens bow their heads to the earth, subject to marauding bands, and a man goes out to plow bearing his shield. Verily, the common man says, "My heart is in agony because of the condition of the land." But one who is sly can become wealthy. Verily, every face goes white with fear, for archers are arrayed in order. Evil is everywhere, and men are not what they used to be. Verily, thieves plunder everywhere, and the servant pilfers whatever he finds. Verily, the Nile overflows, but no one tills the earth of account of it. And all men say, "We know not what will happen throughout the land." Verily, the women are barren, and none conceive. Khnum does not shape men because of the condition of the land. Verily, paupers have become men of affluence, and he who could not provide sandals for himself is now the possessor of wealth. Verily, faithful servants, their hearts have become surely, and the magistrates do not satisfy their people when they cry out. Verily, the heart is horrified, for affliction pervades the land. Blood is everywhere. There is no end of death, and the death shroud summons through one's time has not yet come. Verily, countless corpses are entombed in the river. The waters are a tomb, and the place of embalming is the river. Verily, the nobles are in lamentation, while paupers are in glee. And every city says, "Let us drive out the mighty from our midst." Verily, the people are like ibises, for filth pervades the land. and there is none at all in our time whose garments are white. Verily, the land whirls like the movement of a potter's wheel. The thief is a possessor of wealth, and he who was wealthy is a robber. Verily, the road to the tomb lies open. Even the cattle are driven off, and the peasant says, how appalling! What shall I do? Verily, the river is blood, but one drinks from it. One may turn away from people, yet one will thirst for water. Verily, the portals, columns, walls have been burned, but the halls of the palace are established and strong. Verily, the ship of the southerners is shattered. The cities are ravaged. The upper Egypt has become a desolate plateau. Verily, the crocodile belch from the fish they have seized, as men go freely to them, for this is the utter destruction of the land. Verily, men say, do not tread here, for behold, it is a net. But behold, men fall into the trap like fish, for in his dismay the terror-stricken does not notice it. Verily, the people are diminished in number, and he who buries his brother in the earth is everywhere. A wise man speaks, but then he flees without delay. Verily, the son of one whose name is known lacks recognition, and the child of his wife becomes the son of his maidservant. Verily, the desert pervades the land. The gnomes are annihilated, and foreign aliens have come into Egypt. Verily, Asiatics have arrived in the land, and in truth there are no Egyptians anywhere. Verily, gold, lapis lazuli, silver, turquoise, carnelian, amethyst, emeralds, and all precious stones adorn the necks of maidservants. Noble-looking ladies are throughout the whole land, but the housewives sigh, if only we had something to eat. Verily, life is abhorrent to the hearts of the noblewoman, for their bodies are wretched because of their ragged clothes, and their hearts languish when they give one another greeting. Verily, ebony caskets are destroyed, and the costly aromatic wood from the beds is smashed. There, verily, builders arrive, but they part as mere farmhands, and those who once sailed in the royal bark are now harnessed to it. Verily, none indeed voyage north of Biblios today. When then are we to do for cedar trees for our mummies? For the priests are entombed in the wood of such trees, and the nobles, even as far as Keftui, are embalmed with the oil thereof. But these things arrive here no longer. Gold too is no more, and the materials for all workmanship have been depleted. Even the contents of the royal palace have been despoiled. How significant is it when the men of the Oses come with their goods, rugs, pelts, fresh red met plants, the bird oil to sell for profit? Verily, Elephantine and Thynis, which is in Coptos of Upper Egypt, no longer pay tax because of conflict. Vanished now are grain, charcoal, blue dye, Maat wood, newt wood, and brushwood, the works of the artisans, the bitter, galled, he-mit, those things which are the revenues of the palace. Of what use is a treasury without its income? Indeed, the heart of a king is content only when his tribute comes to him. Moreover, all the foreigners claim, this is our water, these are our crops, and what can we do about it? Things have fallen into ruin. Verily, rejoicing is perished and no longer arises. It is grief which pervades the land, mingled with lamentation. Verily, every worthless man is now one of note, and those who were Egyptians have become aliens and are cast out. Verily, everyone's hair has become thin, and no one can tell an honorable man from one who is worthless. Verily, deafness has set in with regard to complaints. There is no honesty of speech in this time of complaints, and there is no end of complaints. Verily, old and young say, I would rather be dead. and even little children say, no one should have given me life. Verily, the children of the nobles are smashed against the walls, and suckling children are thrown out onto the desert. Verily, bodies which were in the tombs are cast out onto the desert, and the skills of the embalmers are undone. Verily, vanished are those things which were seen yesterday, and the land is remnants of its own weakness like the trimmings of flax. Verily, the entire delta, there is nothing protected therein. And Lower Egypt relies on roads freely traveled by all. What can be done? There is no means of escape in any place. And men cry out, down with the sanctuary. Behold, it is under the control of the impious as of the pious. And nomads are now experts in the professions of the delta. Verily, citizens are consigned to work the millstones, and those who were once clothed with fine linen are unjustly beaten. Those who once did not see the daylight can now go out with no restraint. As for those who once were in the beds of their husbands, let them now sleep on the ground. Those who used to say, it is too heavy for me, about a package of myrrh, are now laden down under vessels filled with grain, and are no longer accustomed to be carried in litters. As for the butler, he no longer exists, and there is no cure for this. Noble ladies bewail their lot like maidservants. Musicians are in the looms of the palace of weaving, while their lays to Maat are laments, and the tellers of tales are at the millstones. Verily, all maidservants are mean-mouthed, but let the mistress speak, and it vexes the servants. Verily, trees are hewn down, and the branches knocked off, and the servants of a man's house have driven him out. Men will both say and hear, food is lacking for numerous children, and there is no sustenance from different grains. What would it taste like now? Verily, the nobles will perish from hunger, and men follow those who once themselves were followers. For the arm of the violent is protected and succor. Verily, the unruly man says, if I knew where God is, I would serve him. Verily, Maat pervades the land, at least in name, but what men do is lawlessness, establishing themselves upon it. Verily, one must be quick to fight for what belongs to him, or he will be robbed and all his property seized. Verily, even all the animals, their hearts weep, and the cattle lament the condition of the land. Verily, the children of the nobles are smashed against the walls. Suckling children are thrown out into the desert, and Khnum groans because he is weary. Verily, horror commits murder. The fearful man prevents those who would act against your foes, and only a remnant are unharmed and safe, only a few. Is it by stalking the crocodile and destroying it? Is it by slaughtering the lion and roasting it on a fire? Is it by sprinkling water for Ptah and bringing offerings? What do you give to him? For it does not reach him. It is only trouble that you offer him. Verily, servants rule throughout the land. The strong man issues orders to everyone, and a man strikes his maternal brother. What are these things which have come to pass? I can cry only destruction. Verily, the roads are avoided and the paths are ambushed. Men crouch in the bushes until the arrival of a traveler at night in order to seize his burden and take what he is carrying. He is attacked with blows of a cudgel and foully murdered. Verily, Vanished are those things which were seen yesterday, and the land is remnants of its own weakness, like the trimmings of flax. The peasants wander about aimlessly because of the desolation, and goldsmiths are employed on the canals. If only this were the end of men. No more conceiving, no more giving birth, then the land would be hushed from its discord, and its turmoil would be no more. Verily, men feed on wild plants and wash them down with water, for they can find neither fruit nor herb nor fowl. They seize the slops from the mouths of the pigs. No one is cheerful, for all have succumbed to hunger. Verily, grain is depleted everywhere, and men are deprived of clothing, perfume, and oil. Everyone says there is nothing left. The warehouse is bare, and its attendants stretched out on the earth. All joy is lacking to my heart. I am totally undone. If only I had uttered my word at the proper time, for it would have rescued me from the suffering into which I have fallen. Verily, the sacred chamber, its writings are stolen, and the place of secrets which was therein is disclosed. Verily, the sacred spells have been exposed. Incantations and rituals have been invalidated, though being known by the people. Verily, the offices are opened and their records pillaged. Men who once were serfs have now become owners of serfs. Verily, scribes are murdered and their writings are stolen. How evil is my plight through the misery of our time. Verily, the scribes of the land registry, their records are destroyed, and the grain of Egypt is up for grabs. Verily, the decrees of the council chamber are tossed aside. Moreover, men walk on them in public, and the rabble smash them in the streets. Verily, the pauper has acquired the ranks of the Ennead, and the business of the house of the 30 is laid bare. Verily, the great council chamber is open to all. Paupers come and go in the great palaces. Verily, the children of the nobles are cast into the streets. The wise man says yes, while the fool says no, and he who understands nothing of it finds pleasing in his sight. Verily, bodies which were in the tombs are cast out onto the desert, and the skills of the embalmers are undone. Behold, now a fire has blazed up to the height, and its flame goes forth against the land. Behold, now these are done which have never been before, for the king has been overthrown by the rabble. Behold, he who was buried as a falcon now sleeps on as a buyer, and what the pyramid once held hidden will now be wanting. Behold, now the land begins to lose the kingship at the hands of a few men who ignore tradition. Behold, now there arises rebellion against the mighty Uraeus of Re, who contents the two lands. Behold, the secret of the land whose limits are unknown are laid bare, and the residents could fall at any moment. Behold, Egypt has begun to pour water, and he who once irrigated the land has carried off the mighty in misery. Behold, the serpent has been wrenched from its lair, and the secrets of the kings of Upper and Lower Egypt are laid bare. Behold, the residence is fearful because of want, and everyone will arouse strife with no opposition. Behold, the land is fettered by mobs. And as for the brave man, the craven sees his property. Behold, the serpent devours the dead, and he who could not make a coffin for himself is now the owner of a tomb. Behold, those who once owned tombs are thrown out onto the desert plateau, while he who could not make a grave for himself is now the owner of a treasury. Behold, now what men have become. He who could not build for himself a single chamber is now the owner of a mansion. Behold, the judges of the land are driven away throughout the land, and those who once herded bulls are now in the royal palace. Behold, noble ladies now sleep on the floor, and princes are in the workhouse. Behold, while he who did not have a floor on which to sleep is now the owner of a bed. Behold, he who once owned wealth now spends the night in thirst, while he who once begged, dredged for himself has overflowing bowels. Behold, those who once owned robes are in rags, while he who could not weave for himself is the owner of fine linen. Behold, he who could not build a boat for himself is now the owner of a fleet, while their former owner can only gaze at them, for they no longer belong to him. Behold, he who had no shelter is now the owner of a shelter, while those who once had shelters are in the blast of the tempest. Behold, he who could not play the lyre is skilled on the harp, and he who could not sing for himself now praises Meri. Behold, those who once owned bronze vessels, no, not one of them has garlanded jars. Behold, he who once slept wifeless through poverty can now find noble women, and he who was inconspicuous now stands in a position of importance. Behold, he who had nothing is now the owner of wealth, and the official favors him. Behold, the poor of the land have become the wealthy, and he who owned property now has nothing. Behold, cupbearers have become the masters of butlers, and he who is a messenger now sends someone else. Behold, he who did not have a loaf is now the owner of a storehouse, but his storeroom is stocked with the property of another. Behold, he who had lost his hair and was lacking in oil has become the owner of jars of sweet myrrh. Behold, she who had no box is now the owner of a chest, and she who used to look at her face in the water now owns a mirror. Behold, behold, a man is contented when he eats his food, so consume what you have with joyful heart, while there is still nothing preventing you. It is pleasant for a man to eat his food, and God ordains it for the one whom he has favored. Behold, now he who did not know his God now makes offerings to him with incense belonging to another whom he does not even know. Behold, noble ladies, highborn and possessors of wealth, now sell their children in exchange for provisions. Behold, now a lowly man takes a noble woman as his wife, and her father supports him so that he may not kill him. Behold, the children of magistrates are in rags, and the calves of their cattle are surrendered to robbers. Behold, the serfs slaughter cattle, and the poor have become robbers. Behold, he who did not slaughter for himself now slaughters bulls, and he who did not know how to carve now sees all choicest meat. Behold, the serfs slaughter geese, which are given to the gods instead of oxen. Behold, maidservants make offerings of ducks, and noble women. Behold, noble women flee in one single flight, their hearts failing through fear of death. Behold, the chiefs of the land flee. They have no function, though lack of one to back them. Behold, those who once owned beds sleep on the ground, while he who spent the night in squalor is now one who spreads a leather mat for himself. Behold, noble ladies have fallen upon hunger, while serfs are satisfied with what had been made ready for them. Behold, no function is it its proper place, like a herd wandering aimlessly without its herdsman. Behold, the cattle wander off with no one to collect them, and every man takes for himself the one branded with his name. Behold, a man can be slain in the presence of his own brother, and he deserts him in order to save himself. Behold, he who did not have a pair of oxen is now the owner of a herd. And he who could not find oxen for plowing is now the owner of cattle. Behold, he who had no grain is now the owner of a granary, and he who used to borrow grain now lends it out. Behold, he who had no dependents is now the master of serfs, and he who was a director is now one who conducts his own affairs. Behold, the mighty of the land, the condition of the people is not recounted to them, for everything has been destroyed. Behold, all the artisans no longer work, for the enemies of the land have ruined its artisans. Behold, he who reported the harvest now knows nothing of it, while he who did not plow for himself is now rich in grain. The harvest is carried out, but is not reported. As for the scribe, his hands are idle at his post. Destroy in his time. A man regards his brother as his enemy, and the weak man brings coolness. In the office is fearful. No, the wretched. The land does not brighten because of it. Destroy their food is seized from them. The pauper begs the messenger, but no time. He is seized while burdened with his property, and he is robbed. Men pass by his door. The wild priest sits outside the wall. In the office of the rooms containing falcons and rams, a vigil without dawn. As for the commoner, he is watchful, so that the day may be dawn on him without his fearing it. Man flee as if driven by the wind. Those who once worked with fine linen in a house, now all they make are tents like the nomads. No longer are commissions carried out by the servants on the business of their masters, for there is no readiness on their part to do so. Even though there are 5 men, yet they all say, "Take care of that yourself. You know that we have just come back." The Delta weeps, for the royal storehouse is up for grabs by everyone, and the entire royal palace lacks its income. To it are due grain and barley, fowl and fish. To it are due white fabric and fine linen, bronze and oil. To it are due carpets and mats, blossoms and sheaves, every fine work which should arrive expertly fashioned. If there is dearth of these in the royal palace, then no one can be free from the lack of them. Destroy the enemies of the noble residence, glorious in its nobles who, in it like, for the ruler of the city must go about without his escort. Destroy the enemies of the noble residence, glorious in. Destroy the enemies of that noble residence, abundant in laws. Destroy the enemies of that noble residence, for it. Destroy the enemies of that noble residence, for no one can stand. Destroy the enemies of that noble residence, abounding in offices, for verily, remembering the anointing of one who suffers due to the sickness of his body, give respect to, because of his God. He will guard his mouth, and his offspring will witness the rising of the Nile flood. Remember to replenish the shrine, to make offerings of incense, and to pour libation from a vessel at dawn. Remember to bring fat, roe geese, to rep geese and set geese, and to sacrifice sacred offerings to the gods. Remember to chew natron and to prepare white bread, as is done by a man on the day of the anointing of the head. Remember to set up flagpoles and to carve offering tables, as the priests purify the sanctuary. The house of the God is plastered as white as milk. The fragrance of the horizon is made sweet, and offerings of bread are presented. Remember to observe the ordinances, rightly to assign the dates, and to expel him who is initiated, as the priest despite physical impurity, for this is undertaking it wrongly. This is malevolence of heart. Remember the day which precedes eternity, the months which are numbered, and the years which are known. Remember to slaughter oxen from the best which you have on record. Remember to go forth and seek the God who summons you, to place a roe goose on the fire, to open the jar and to make offering on the bank of the Nile flood. Remember of women, clothing, to offer praise, to content you through lack of people. Come, of Ray who commands, while revering him, the one who journeys to the west, to weaken those who are by the gods. Behold, why does God even consider creating men, when the peaceful man is not distinguished from the aggressive? Let him but bring coolness upon their passion, and men will say, he is the shepherd of all mankind, and there is no evil in his heart. Small is his herd, but he has had to spend the entire day to herd them. Because of the fire in their hearts, would that he had perceived their nature in the first generation, then he would have smitten their sinfulness. And extended his arm against it. He would have destroyed herds of them and their heirs. Yet men desire to procreate, and so sorrow has come to be and misery on every side. Such is the way it is, and never will it end. As long as the gods exist in the midst of it all, and the seed issues forth from the wives of men, none may be found upon the right way, but only struggle has come forth. The chastiser of crimes is the one who devises them, and there are no pilots on watch. Where is God today? Does he indeed sleep? Behold, his power is no more seen. Though we have been afflicted, yet I did not find you. You did not call me in vain. Resistance against these things means only discouragement. These words are now on the mouth of everyone. For today, those who fear these things are more than millions of men, and no defenders against our enemies can be seen. The turmoil in his outer hall has entered into the temple. The south, earners weep for him. Behold, he is the one who acts so that his words are contradicted. How often the land, has not the land fallen? The statues are burned and their workshops are destroyed. Every man is on his guard, for he sees the day of calamity now established. The universal Lord, who has made for himself a division between heaven and earth, has become fearful for every man. If he does not act in our defense, who then will? If you refuse to save, authority, perception, and Maat are with you. But it is confusion which you have permitted throughout the land, along with the noise of turmoil. Behold, one man strikes out at another, for men transgress against what you have decreed. If 3 men set out on a journey, only 2 arrive, for the many kill the few. Is there indeed a shepherd who desires death? Then you may command that such be done. There is now a destruction of affliction, for one man hates the other. Now there is a reduction in men's persons everywhere, And it is you who have behaved so that this might come to pass. For you have spoken falsehood. The land is now a bitter weed which destroys mankind, and none can be certain of life. Though all these years there is conflict, and a man can be murdered on the roof of his own house. Let him be vigilant in his gatehouse, and if he is strong, he may save himself. This is life. Men devise crimes even against a commoner. He travels on the road until he sees the ambush. The road is blocked, and he stops in fear. What he has with him is seized, and he is attacked with blows of a sudjal and cruelly murdered. Would that you might taste even a little of such misery. Then you would say, keep silent no longer. His has a guard on the wall, as well as, hotter than the body, the years when speech was uttered. Verily it is good when ships sail southward, and no robbers plunder them. Verily it is good. Verily it is good when the net is pulled in, and men tie up the birds in the evening. Verily it is good when honors for them, when the roads are open to travel. Verily it is good when men's hands construct pyramids, when pools are dug and orchards planted with trees worthy of the gods. Verily it is good when men drink deep, when they drink strong liquor and their hearts rejoice. Verily it is good when shouts of joy are in men's mouths, when the lords of the estates stand watching the rejoicing in their houses, dressed in fine linen, their foreheads anointed and secure for the future. Verily it is good when beds are prepared, when the headrests of the nobles are well secured, when all men's wants are satisfied by a couch or in the shade, and a door is shut to protect him who used to sleep in the bushes. Verily it is good when fine linen is laid out on New Year's Day on the bank, when fine linen is laid out and cloaks spread on the ground, when the keeper of the cloaks, trees, and the common folks are. The king answers Emperor. They, acts of robbery, while sailing southwards, the delta is confined in their midst like Asiatics. But men ignore their schemes, and so bring about their own doom. And none can be found who will arise and defend themselves against the Libyans and Asiatics. Each man fights only for his sister and protects himself. Are Nubians the threat? Then we shall protect ourselves. For the warriors are numerous to drive back the foreign bowmen. Is it Libyans? Then we shall rout them. For the Magi are friendly with Egypt. But how? For every man slays his own brother, and the troops we recruited for ourselves have become foreigners, and have turned to pillaging. The outcome of that will be to let the Asiatics realize the condition of the land. But all the foreigners are still held in awe of it, and what the peoples have experienced is enough to say, Egypt will not be subjected to the desert. She will be victorious because of her walls. But this will, said of you in later years, destroyed itself. It is a time there will give life to his children. There will be. What has been brought to pass is that there will not be, said the troops. 5 lines have been lost at this point in the text. Make sandals for yourselves, bonds, resin, lotus leaves, reeds, in excess of the provisions. Emperor again resumes his speech. What Emperor said when he answered the majesty of the Lord of all. You have deceived the whole populace. It seems that your heart prefers to ignore the troubles. Have you done what will make them happy? Have you given life to the people? They cover their faces in fear of the morning. Once there was a man who had grown old and was approaching death, and his son was a child, still without understanding. He began to defend, but he could not open his mouth to speak to you, and you robbed him even in the agony of death. Weep. 8 lines are lost here. After you, the land will be on every side. If men call to, the people of the land weep because of their enemies, who have entered the funerary temples and burned the images. Destroyed are, and the bodies of the mummies are carried off. How evil of the director of works. The rest of the text is lost. Come join us, House of Aten, Ancient Tehuti and Teachings on the Tiru. Back to the source, we the original Axemen. What's up? Peace. Peace. Can you see me? Trying to work brother.
Hey, there you go.
What did you think, brother? I wasn't familiar with these writings. I reached out to, SCRIIBE reached out to me, asked me what was I going to present on. And of course, I'm unfamiliar like so many of our people. But that wasn't a problem because I'm open to suggestions. And the same way I don't ask any questions in the class because all of Saba's questions that are answered, that he's answering for the people are important to me. So when he suggested this, I was unfamiliar with it. I have the book, but I hadn't even heard of the story. So I'm glad I read it because it was super, super deep. And it seemed as if I was reading something that was written here today, right now, with the amount of ISFET that was going on. It was very familiar, just the way life is right now. And being able to see that and see what's going on is very sad. And I'm so very grateful for having a teacher like our great Saba Tehuti, as well as I'm eternally grateful for our ancestors leaving these writings behind for us to be able to begin to get familiar with our ancestors' writings based on what they said as opposed to what someone else says. If you caught our great teacher on that platform, that was one of the things that was just a question he was asking. Well, what did they say during his time? What was said during that time of that supposed person? So I'm just grateful for the writings, brother. Thank you for that suggestion because I'm unfamiliar, and that's how lost we are. That's how far behind we are when it comes to our stories. Because when it was suggested, I went to look, and I was looking in the wrong book, and I was like, "Well, where's this story at?" So, ancestral artifacts over religious opinion, but it's just everything is upside down, man. Everything is inside out, upside down. So much chaos. Just so much going on. I'm reading that, and it's as if I'm watching the news in LA or watching the news in New York, in a major city, just the amount of ISFET and chaos that's going on. And for us to not realize that, hey, it's not supposed to be like that. You know, these types of things was written thousands of years ago. It was written thousands of years ago. The same thing was going on. Brothers turning their backs on each other, throwing people out. It's very, 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 very beautiful. That we have these writings and that we begin to elevate as a people. But first we have to know where we come from. We have to know how great our people were. So to for that, Annie, for that great suggestion, good brother, because definitely got to go digest that a little more. And it's just wonderful to not be familiar with it. See, I'm okay with saying I had never read that story before. I have the book. It was very easy to find once I began to look, but I wasn't familiar with the story until I just read it just now. So to up for all of you for sharing your wonderful energy as we begin to learn. And, you know, it's just a never time. What better time than now to begin to learn? So to out to everyone.
To you, great brother, for reading that story. And you have a good voice and a good flow with reading these stories. So you could definitely do voiceovers if you want to switch your day job. So Henu to you, Henu to Ani Ptah for his suggestion. There was a few parts that stood out to me. Ani, can I keep going, or do you want to say a few words, great brother?
No, go ahead, great brother. Peace.
So I looked up the word verily because he is getting his verily on this in this story, and so verily means truly and certainly. I did not know that, and so I looked that up. And then one sentence. There is so much in that whole story that in itself could be a whole entire movie. That story, they could make a movie out of that. But a few sentences that or paragraphs that stood out were the gnomes are annihilated and foreign aliens have come into Egypt, and there are no Egyptians anywhere. So that was kind of like shocking. And then on page 195, barely Maat pervades the land, at least in name, but what's men do is lawless, establishing themselves upon it. And then the thing that stood out to me the most was, I think this is on page 196. It's kind of a little bit sad. It says, verily the sacred chamber, its writings are stolen, and the place of secrets which are therein is disclosed. Verily the sacred spells have been exposed, incantations and rituals have been invalidated through being known by the people. Verily the offices are opened and their records pillaged. Men who once were serfs have now become owners of serfs. Verily scribes are murdered and their writings are stolen. How evil is my plight through the misery of our time. That's really dark. Verily the scribes of the land registry, their records are destroyed, and the grain of Egypt is up for grabs. Verily the decrees of the council chamber are tossed aside. Moreover, men walk on them in public, and the rabble smash them in the streets. So that's not, that must have been a hard chapter, what I mean, to witness. And, that's not something that I ever envisioned of Kemet, but we know that the invaders came and they pillaged like they always do. So those were a couple things that stood out to me. And you're right, ATEF, there's so much. That's why it's so key, everything that is happening and us learning from Saba and him able to make sense. Or, our individual study as well, as we discuss this and as we have Saba walk along our side as we're discovering these stories and coming back to our true selves. And, it's a really powerful thing. I was thinking about, receiving our RENs. You brothers have received your REN, and how meaningful that is in this time. And, me coming on the 1 year, not 1 year anniversary, but my REN day, I call it that. It's a very powerful time that we're in, because like you said, when listening to the brother, well, he's not my brother, but listen to the person talking about Jesus and Matthew and Paul and all of that, you know, when people are brainwashed, it's kind of, and I've been there, you know, to be in that state of mind and all the isfat and the chaos. Once you out of it and you're witnessing it, it's like, it's a sight to see. And so there's so much, two things are happening simultaneously, right? We're in the midst of all of this hecka, and you know, the universe and the sun and all the good that is happening simultaneously. There's isfat everywhere, right? There's all this beauty and this power and this wonderful things that are happening around us, but at the same time, there's definitely people are zombies and brainwashed, and there's isfat everywhere, and the lie is the truth. And so it's interesting to kind of be able to have discernment and the consciousness to know which is which. And I will pass on that.
Yes, Hotep, great brothers. Yeah, this read is once again another papyrus brought forth that gave inspiration to what later became known as the Bible. So this writing here, of course, is speaking about what a lot that's in Exodus is written about. And, you know, it's, and I want to touch on something that was written in the forward part of this section here. Let me read this paragraph here to put some more emphasis on the context of this writing here. So as the great brother read, before you get to the story, there's a little description here showing the different sources and things like that. Right here, it says that, let me zoom in a little bit. The text may be said to fall into the general category of national calamity literature, a format based on the reflection of the postulated upheaval which took place during the first intermediate period. In all likelihood, however, this setting is used here as a literary device in order to present a treatise describing the dramatic contrast between the situation of order and one of disorder, Maat, as opposed to isfat. This text is aristocratic in nature, and one of its main complaints is that the lower classes have usurped the place and prerogatives of the wealthy nobility. Upaware is portrayed as addressing the king whose name is not known, although it may have been mentioned in the lost beginning of the text, which we see in this text. There's a lot missing from this papyrus. So even how it starts off, it doesn't start off at the very beginning of the actual story that's being written. And as you've seen with the great brother reading at the end, it said the rest of the text has been lost. So there's many, and even in between, it says 5 lines is missing here and many lines are missing here. So we're missing a lot of the complete writing, because this is the only, as this states, this is the only papyrus that we have that has this story on it. So this is the one and only papyrus with this story. So as the text unfolds, Upaware is somewhat repetitive language, describes the lawless and chaotic situation within Kemet, the rich made poor and the poor made wealthy, the lack of food and other necessities in the absence of social stability, and the total uncertainty as to anyone's future or safety. He urges the monarch to try to establish order again in the land and to observe the national rituals of the religion in order to obtain the help and support of the Natiru. So this writing here is more so a, this is what's going to happen. This is what's to happen if we do not maintain order within the land. Because the time that this is dated to, there's no necessarily calamity such as this, but this is speaking about, without Maat, this is what can take place. And so it's it's very powerful. I'm gonna share a couple lines as well, just like the great brother Menkhu. Let's see here. Okay, here's a line here. My heart is in agony because of the condition of the land, but one who is sly can become wealthy. So this is a line that stuck out to me, simply because it's speaking about the ETH and how the land, the condition of the actual land being in agony. And when we look out today, this writing actually reflects a lot of what we're living today. And this made me think about how with what's known as littering, or just throwing trash in the street and just destroying the land, or just throwing plastic in the oceans and in the waters, and the way that we a lot of the people of today are completely inconsiderate of the planet that you exist on, that you live on, that you walk on, that breeds life and fruit for you to survive and exist. And knowing that the consciousness of the actual planet itself is alive, there's so much that just trash and destruction that that I see it daily. And this is how I feel, right? Because of the condition of the land and the way that we treat the land, the way that we treat the planet is completely inconsiderate. And a lot of it is just laziness. So this line really stuck out to me because of those natures there. And being able to protect and love that which where you are at, and stay in Maat, stay in order, cleanliness, which is completely removed today, where you see people just throwing trash out the window and you find all this plastic in the lakes and in the oceans, which destroy and kill the fish. So this is a line that has come to fruition. And here's another one. Verily, everyone's hair has become thin, and no one can tell an honorable man from one who is worthless. Right. Once again, this is the complete contrast of Maat and Isfat. Verily, deafness has set in with regards to complaints. There is no honesty of speech in this time of complaints, and there is no end of complaints. So once again, I'm like, this is today, right? Where people just want to complain with no solution. It's just complete complaints. And here it says there is no honesty of speech. So there really is no accountability taking place today. And this is why Maat is so important to me, and I know it's important to you all, because it teaches accountability. It teaches to search thyself for every flaw thoroughly, and to remove the Isfat from within you, so you can maintain and replace it with Maat, right? And so many of the writings speak about the meta word sajim, which means to hearken to listen, and it's the word to hear, which then in return another word for ear is ankh. And so with this speaking about deafness, it literally is the isfat of not taking in the information, not listening, and therefore there's no honesty in the speech within all of the complaints that take place, and there's no getting to a solution. So once again, this is a very powerful papyrus and a very powerful writing that speaks about the realities when Maat is removed, when the order is removed from a place, and the rituals are removed, because it also speaks about that in its writing as well, as getting back to the rituals and how that's no longer taking place. Verily, Maat pervades the land, at least in name, right? So the name is there, Maat. But what men do is lawlessness, establishing themselves upon that. This is exactly what is happening today, and this is definitely has come true, right? Because it's speaking about, hey, with Ma'at removed from the scenario, men do lawlessness and they establish themselves on that. We see that all throughout today. It's cool, right? To especially within our music, the lawlessness, and it's cool to be that. It's cool to say, this is what I did. Here's the crimes that I committed. Here's the, here's the things that I've done that helped to destroy my community. Here, let me speak about that and raise that up to a place of to a place to where people start to worship that, and now the children grow up and want to be a reflection of that, because that's what seems as cool. That's why the kids do what they do, because they're like, oh, I want to be like him because he's the cool one. We're the one that glorify. We glorify that type of activity, and it's complete lawlessness. And we stand on it. Like, that's something people stand on today completely. And it's what exists, right? When there is no Ma'at, when Isfet is what you're standing on, you're going to completely be lawless. And that's what Ma'at is. It is the law. It is the law. So this writing, and being able to read this at the times that it was written in, and to make sure that you're aware of the outcomes, right? And this is what part of what prophecy is to be able to see what's to happen with a set of actions. For every action, there's a reaction. And if your action is this is going to be the reaction. And to know that, it keeps you in a mindset to know and to stand on that which you want to have the outcome of. So if you want a future of success and you want to be ordered, you want to be in an order, you want to maintain that, what's necessary to reach that place, which is discipline and consistency. Right. So this was a very powerful line right here. So even with the name of Ma'at pervading the land, there's still lawlessness. Verily, one must be quick to fight for what belongs to him, or he will be robbed and all his property seized. This is, you see this so often today, right? You got to fight for what's yours, and even with that, you're still going to be robbed and your property seized. So if you get into a situation with these governmental agencies, they are coming to take what's yours, just like they always have, and how they got to where they are now, just coming in, quote unquote, kicking the door in and saying, lay down, and I'm taking this is now mine. And this is something that we have to do, so this absolutely is a fight to make sure that not only we're having to take back what's ours, because they took it and they claim it as theirs. And so this is also a powerful line, and it's just very very powerful to me how we have a papyrus here that was written at a time before this even existed, but how accurate it is of a reflection today, right? So it's very powerful to what you're reading, with this being written in around 1500 BCE, where this didn't exist at that time, but knowing that with the removal of Ma'at, that this is what's to happen, and it's just completely true. Verily, the sacred chamber, its writings are stolen, and the place of secrets which was therein is now disclosed. Verily, the sacred spells have been exposed. Incantations and rituals have been invalidated through being known by the people. And this goes back to our language, our sound vibration that we're speaking, the tones, and the people who understood the rituals and the magic within the vocal tone and the sound vibration of the words, and taking that and now flipping that upside down. And so now, even with you, the way that you speak, what we're doing and what our Saba Tehuti has taught us and going back into making sure that we know what we're saying and beginning to teach us how to read the Medu Netter and how to interpret it and how to properly read it. It really goes to show how a lot of the words that we speak actually are Medu Netter words. And so therefore, with the frequency of the English word today, it invalidates itself because of the consciousness of the thought that's creating the sound vibration. So this is absolutely true, and this is what they have done, and which I presented in the last show, and showing how, you know, a lot of the they even call it the secrets, and now they give it freely and show it being stolen, and give you the diluted version of what they took, you know. So absolutely, the writings were stolen, as we see it happening all the time, and they're sitting up in museums, you know. So and of course they have their different places where everything is not shown, you know, with even all of the information that we have that they show and display, because you can even go to these museums and they'll tell you this is not on display, but they have it, and we can't read it and we don't have access to it because they stole it. And I think this is my last one here that I took. Behold, he who was buried as a falcon now sleeps on a bier. Behold, or excuse me, and what the pyramid once held hidden will now be wanting. Behold, now the land begins to lose kingship in the hands of the few men who ignore tradition. So this is what it's speaking about, at the hands of the few men who ignore tradition. Behold, now there arises rebellion against the mighty Renenet, or the Uraeus of Re, who contents the two lands. Behold, the secret of the land, whose limits are unknown, is laid bare, and the residents could fall at any moment. Behold, Egypt has begun to pour water, and he who once irrigated the land has carried off the mighty in misery. Behold, the serpent has been wrenched from its lair, and the secrets of the kings of Upper and Lower Kemet are laid bare. So this is absolutely true, and this is so powerful. So this is an excellent writing to come back to and to read, because it's just a reflection of the reality that we exist in today, because Maat was removed, the ones at the hands of the men who decided to ignore tradition and started to create their own traditions. So now we actually participate in the traditions given by the ones who stole our information and decided to do what they did to take over the land and start to create their own kingship. And then, of course, this is complete. This is so blatantly clear with this one here. Verily, the river is blood, but one drinks from it. One may turn away from people, yet one will thirst from water. So, of course, this is what you find in Exodus chapter 7, verse 20, when it's speaking about some of the plagues in the river the Nile River actually turning into blood. So even with this writing here, it's stolen literature that was placed into the Bible to create your biblical stories that, and which, as stated in the beginning of these writings, these are the admonition is a warning. Like, this is what's to come. Like, this is what's going to happen. And so, you know, even within the Exodus and a lot of the different books within the Bible come from this actual papyrus here, or the papyruses at the time that that they had access to. But this story and showing here, you know, with even saying that the river is blood. So once again, another fantastic, beautiful papyrus with information that goes to show how advanced our ancestors were and how important it was and is still today for us to maintain and continue on a path of Maat and staying in order. And what happens if you don't, right? This is a pretty lengthy text. This isn't just a couple things. Like, this is complete calamity that's happening within these writings. You know, so I'll post a link if anybody wants to come up and share their thoughts as well. There we go. Let me see if I can pin it to the top. So if anybody wants to come in, you all can definitely do that. It'd be wonderful to hear some of you all's thoughts on this writing here. So yes, Hotep, peace and love. I hope you all enjoyed this reading and enjoyed reading the literature that we have access to. And really, with each piece, it really shows us how just how intelligent, right, and how much of a foresight that we've always had, and the importance of maintaining and standing on Maat. So with that, Hotep, hit the link. Any one of you all can come up if you want to say some tones, have some vibrations to share with us, and I'll get the support. I'll show the support here in just a moment. So for anyone who wants to support us, Cash App, House of Aten, PayPal, House of Aten, and support the writings, support the readings, support the teachings, support the community. So with that, I'll say peace and Hotep, and great brother Tefrim Kim Maat, you can pick it up.
Hotep, yeah, those were great Nefer tones. Like, subscribe, and comment. Come on up to the panel, guys, and we love to hear your tones. You want to just come up here and dialogue with us. Tell us what you thought of today's readings. Tell us what you think of the House of Aten. See, we post the link for people to come up, but the energy is so Nefer that we don't get a lot of people coming up. It's like they scared to show their face, but you know, we do what we do, and it's beautiful because you can see the difference, man. I was watching our great Saba, and it was mind blowing to me. But like you said, it's good to be able to see the difference, you know. And it's beautiful to watch the snake style at work too, because I learned so much from Saba, the way he engages with people, and the way he breaks people down, only to build them back up if they truly want Maat, if they truly want the truth. Then when we watch these things, you know, a lot of times people let their pride get in the way, you know. But I always say, you know, I would rather have questions with no answers than answers that can't be questioned. So Saba just asked the brother a simple question and he couldn't answer it. He was getting confused and upset and talking about something else. So to have a teacher like that and to witness it is it's just a time right now. I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be in this energy. And I'm grateful to learn and stand alongside you brothers. A shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the brothers and sisters that's in Rumble. Shout out to Menti. Yeah, it's a different energy over here, brother. And he wasn't gonna be on very long, and I was like, I just wanted someone to ask a question, but you ask a question and you don't even really want the answer. It's just, I don't know. I don't, you know, it just baffles me, man. It really does, because people just want to hear they self-talk. They don't want to. Okay, so after all of that, so what's your lifestyle? Okay, so all right, so this ain't true, that's not true, this ain't real. What about that? But what is your actual lifestyle? And you don't have one. But yeah, our lifestyle, our whole culture has been stolen from us. This is why we're up here doing these things. This is why we're unfamiliar with these writings of our ancestors. We're unfamiliar with these writings. But if I quoted 77 years ago, everyone would know, you know, these different speeches and these different things that we were taught by the colonizer. It just totally trumps this information and things like this, the writings of our ancestors. And it's sad. Hopefully I'll be able to go. I'm traveling this weekend, so I didn't get a chance to. I don't know if I had to switch weeks with brother Menkhu. He had a wonderful presentation. I look forward to seeing that next week. But I'm going to be traveling, so I may be able to pick up some good books. I love to go to the bookstores when I travel to these big cities. They have books and stuff that's not really accessible in certain places where I be at. So looking forward to that.
I had an observation, Atef, when you're done. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead, brother. No, go ahead.
I love what you shared, Ani Ptah, and what you're saying is Atef is an actual fact, because Maat, when we think of order, sometimes I think, well, I'll just speak for myself. I think it's very easy to think about order as an external thing, but when Saba's when he's sharing the knowledge, or people are trying to debate him, if Isfat is in you and you haven't purified yourself and you're not in alignment with the truth, what happens is people will start to assault or try to insult Saba, and said he puts his shoes on backwards. And so you're not in order. That person couldn't be in order on the inside for him to unravel the way that he was unraveling. And then you can't hear yourself. You can't even hear what you're saying. I don't think he could hear the things that he was saying, because Saba would point out to him certain things that he said, and he'll be like, oh, I didn't say that. So if you are not in a stable place emotionally, and if you're not living in Ma'at, what I've noticed, it's Saba's able to rattle people, right? He's with the knowledge. I think people get so emotional, and then their ego, and then they're not in alignment, and then they can't hear themselves. So they start to get out of order on the inside. And when you're out of order on the inside, what you say is out of order too, because there's no reason, if we're just having a debate, for you to disrespect another person. So that's just an observation that I wanted to share.
It wasn't even a debate. The brother asked a question and Saba answered it, and then Saba asked him a question.
Right.
And you just quickly you know, when you're accustomed to that energy, because it's really hard for me to understand now, brother. because I'm not on that frequency. But it's very easy for me to recognize now, because I just want to learn. So I'm trying to learn something. Whereas even if I ask a question, my purpose to asking a question is to learn, is to find out something that I don't know, so not to ask a question and then argue with you about the answer. And then, it's really sad.
That's the question. That's why they ask their questions, because it's not really to learn,
Not
it's
to argue. Yeah.
Yep. It's an argument in question form.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But it's sad. It's sad because it's not that they asking a question. It's the fact that, okay, so the question is answered, right or wrong. What are we going to do now? What are we going to do now? Is it helping us or hurting us? Okay. What is your lifestyle? Okay. So this isn't right. So what is your lifestyle? How do you live? How do you take care of your family? What, those are the things like, okay, so all right, so now we're going back to being Christian, or what are we going back to? It's that's what's so confusing for me, because it's so many of our people that's lost. All they want to do is argue. All you want to do is argue just for the sake of arguing. Okay, we wrong. Okay, all right. Hold on. I got another. Where that soundbite came from last night when Saba said he wanted Ani to get a soundbite of you. So I went looking.
Oh, okay.
I went looking, and I couldn't find exactly
like this.
I couldn't find exactly what he was speaking about for you, but I have one where he said to replace him then. All right, so then you replace the teacher, and they can't do that. Hold on, let me see if I.
In the meantime, I'm gonna need everybody to hit the like button, hit share.
Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Just play. Come on, push the button. Yeah, come on, push the button.
Push the button. Join us. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like they scared. They don't have to. Then they come up, right? They don't even want to show their face.
I know.
Show their face. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, he went off camera, so he was off camera. Chris had to ask him to come on camera or
camera up.
Yeah, Saba said, I like to look people in their eyes when I'm talking to them. And then in the midst of whatever you want to call it, the discussion, he go into like a dark room, and then he walking through. Most of the times he started talking in the dark. I'm like, you out of order. He was so out of order in so many ways. What he was saying, his camera, his whole energy was like not good energy.
Yeah, that was odd, right? Went from laying in the bed to going into a dark room. I was like, what is he doing?
Right. Then he started walking through the house because I think he probably was getting frustrated because he was answering Baba's question. He said I think he said from 1 AD to 30 AD. You know what I mean? And so I think he just got flustered, and so he had to get up and walk around. So that was interesting.
Yeah, and the question that Saba posed is such a snake style question. And it would be wonderful to see brothers, and if you have a belief system, you believe that, to at least acknowledge and just leave it where it is, with saying, what date did Paul write what he wrote? Is it between 1 and 33 AD? And if not, and the answer, of course, is it doesn't exist. There are no writings during that time of any people who believed in Jesus writing about that. And that was something that he also brought out when he wants to bring up Paul and Paul's letters, which there are so many Paul letters who have been proven to be frauds. They're not real letters. Forgeries. And and even in the time during that time, he wasn't actually one to believe in Jesus, and he made him say that as well. So yeah, that was fantastic, and being able to just say, you know what, those writings don't exist. They just don't exist, you know. But brothers will find ways to validate it not existing, which is never part of the question that Saba presents. And we've seen that in full context, watching him and listening to him have the dialogue with the brother, all while, you know, doing what he does and being who he is. So that was wonderful to watch, and I look forward to him going back to the platform and seeing Saba on other platforms presenting this information, and seeing those who truly want to know more information come forward and demanding a certain type of respect. It just brings a different type of energy, you know. So it's absolutely you know, it's powerful. So there's going to be people forever that wants to hold on to their Jesus character. They're just going to hold on to it forever.
Yes.
And that's it. I don't care if there's no writings. I don't care if there's no actual archaeological evidence during the time when Jesus existed to validate that. I do not care. This is my Jesus, holding him tight to my heart. And he's going to be there with me to the end. And, you know, that's just what it is. We you know, that's just something that we have to accept, because that's just what it is. People will not let go of that for whatever reasons that's within their subconscious.
Facts.
You know,
and it's like you can see, like, when you think, and I want to be very respectful when I'm saying this, and so because so many lives have been lost, and so watching some of these debates, it's like, whoo, when you think about the whole, you know, I want to be careful what I say, but I'll just say this is the language that they use as far as like holy wars. And so, which should be an oxymoron, should not, you know what I mean? Like, but it isn't, but it's like a real thing, right? A lot of wars happen because of resources and differences in beliefs. And sometimes that's exactly what you're saying, Ani Ptah. People will hold on and they will fight to the death for that thing, even though that thing, you will prove them wrong, but to them there is no wrong, because they holding on to that thing for dear life. So it's an interesting thing to kind of witness. So now pass with that.
Yeah, it is. It is, you know, and a lot of us grew up in this paradigm and believe in the same thing because that's what we were taught to believe. But
yes,
when you allow constructive criticism within yourself and you truly just want to know what the facts are, you know, it's okay. It's okay to let go of these things and build yourself back up again, because that's what it's about. You know, breaking down and building yourself back up.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage, like generations and generations and generations of people teaching you this and going to church, and all of your family traditions are based off this thing. And for you to go the other way, once you find out the truth, is very powerful, right? When you step out of the matrix, that includes going the opposite way of people who have so long been considered a part of your community and your family and all of that stuff. It's crazy, but it is what it is. If I made the decision that if I had to be different to be free, so be it.
Right. Yes, absolutely. You know, it's going against, like you said, you know, you hear your grandparents, your grandmother, oh, it's all about Jesus. Jesus, baby. You know? Jesus gonna get you, baby. You know?
Better not say nothing about that man.
Saba's mom was gonna kick him out of the crib. He had to battle that pastor to stay in his house. His own mama was gonna kick him out.
Yes.
Can't even imagine, man. I really can't, you know. But I'm so grateful. I'm grateful that shout out to his mama, because that was one of the steps necessary to build him. That was one of the things that he said he recognized early on about basically surviving biological imperative. His whole survival was based on being able to answer the questions at a point where his mother, respecting him, because a lot of times your parents don't really listen to your children as much as we should, So for him to be able to impress his mother in front of another adult, like challenging him, and win, that says a lot, It says a lot. And that's one of the things, because it's like I wonder with a lot of these preachers and these, a lot of these brothers, because a lot of them seem very, very intelligent, right? But you don't know who's shaking and faking, who's telling the truth. Like, you don't know how much they know. So like, even like with the brother Billy Carson and him, hooking up with Saba, I definitely look forward to that, because I don't know how much he knows. And I personally was introduced to Billy Carson before I was introduced to Saba, and I'm thankful for that as well too, because I was able to see I was able to do my own comparison. Not that I was comparing, I was just searching for the truth. And then I began evaluating different things because he wasn't the only one. That wasn't the only brother I discovered early on. And when I say early on, I'm just talking about in the last, 3 or 4 years. Because I'm a baby in this, and I'm grateful for that. But the brother is very intelligent. He's very, very. So someone asked me, this is synchronicity. A couple of weeks ago, they asked me, because they had discovered Billy Carson at my job. So he asked me, he was like, hey, I found this guy, and he reminds me of your teacher, because I'm always talking about my Saba. So he knows this one guy. He's been introduced to the podcast. I don't know if he's been, but I've shared the link with him several times. So he is familiar with Saba. That he compared them to. So he asked me, what do I think of Billy Carson? So I told him what I thought. I had nothing negative to say, but I said, I wonder how much of what he knows. I wonder how much of the truth he knows and how much he doesn't. He just doesn't know, and we don't know. So I look forward to seeing him and Saba hooking up, definitely, because we are a nation, and it can't just be us three building this nation. It has to be more brothers and sisters, more great brothers and sisters. So that brother has a big platform. He has a pretty large platform, a large following. So it will be good, once we begin to get over certain humps and get past certain challenges, because right now we're the few, but we are the many, though. Go ahead, Menkhu.
Well, first of all, I don't mean any disrespect, but let's just start in order. So when I came across him too, I would listen to things that he said. And so the one thing is and where we're at, let's just start with his name is Billy. Right? Billy. His name is Billy. His name is Billy. How is your name Billy, and you know all that you know about these ancient civilizations? So I just want to start with that. His last name is Carlson. So it's just, let's just start with that, like your name is Billy. So I just, it's, the more I'm in this energy, and I'm a baby too, ATEF, and so what you said is actual fact, and so when I think about Saba, like his journey is like it's so surreal, and I may be using this word wrong, but I cannot still to this day. Okay, there's Dr. York. We know his biological imperative. He tells us when he does the intro, and then he shared that he's at Bobby Hemmett's house, and they talking, and he said he could just see the waves and pictures are falling off the wall. Like, who do you know? Like, who do you know? Story is like this. Like Bobby Hemmett, like. I'm gonna just say, it's just interesting. Like his journey is like, this is not for play for him. Like he's straight up in it. He in it all the way. And so I definitely am looking forward to if this thing takes place with Billy. So it's gonna be a movie. It's going to be I'm gonna be there with my popcorn. Definitely.
Well,
you have no way of life, but you've mastered the earth. You've mastered the shape of the earth, but you look like the shape of the Michelin Man.
Well, listen, I'm gonna say this though, brother. Just to echo your sentiment a little bit. Look at your own life. Look at your life, Menkhu, and look how wonderful your life has been for you to make it here. Just look at the craziness and how did you end up here? Like, when I look at my life, I'm like, wow, it's almost baffling to me. Of course, when I hear the Great Saba story, I'm like, wow, just listening to the magic and everything. But then when I look at my own personal life, I'm like, man, listen, I don't even know how this happened. Like, it's very magical as well. And then the same thing with Ani. The stories of how we came into this energy is magic, and it's its own magic, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it was supposed to happen this way, especially when I see what's going on around us. When we see the other brothers and how they can't get out their own way, and how we relate to them, because we've all been in a particular place before we were here. Before we got to this energy and before we got to this place in which we're at right now, where we're standing at right now with our understanding and our consciousness, there was a time when we weren't here. I'm not saying, of course, some are more advanced than others, and, our individual processes that led us here were all very different. But they were all very magical if you would just take the time to examine your own story and to see how it's playing out. It's like when I say I don't know what's going on, I really truly don't. I had never heard of the Natiru, but now when I look at my life, I'm like, oh man, something had to guide me in this direction. Someone had to point this out to me. Someone had to point that out to me. Like, I know for a fact that I was guided. I still don't know how and what the way that it plays itself out, but I know that my individual story itself is magical. And then it ties into his very magical story, as well as all of your stories and everyone that's here. Man, I can't make this up, and I can't fake it. I really truly can't fake it, because the Natiru really are real. The ancient Tehutian teachings of the Natiru. The name change, the lanyard, it's too many synchronicities that's playing out, for it to be part of the colonizers' game plan. You understand? Because so much of our individual lives and the lives that we have led up to this point has been manipulated by the puppet master. We can all say that, right? The matrix is so very, very vast, and the webs and the nets are so very connecting to us. But yet and still, when you look at your own individual life and know where we're at right now, and just this little bit of knowledge that we've been exposed to, right? We have to have been guided by something greater than ourselves, outside of the colonizer, outside of them, right? It can't, they like, when you look at the role that they play in our lives, it's vast. I mean, it's very vast, you know? But then when you look at how we got here, it's like, how was we able to circumvent that and get through those particular challenges to end up here? And we wasn't even, at least for me, I wasn't even headed in this direction. I didn't even know I was going to be here. Oh yeah, I'm looking for Maat. Yeah, I'm trying to find the Natiru. I'm trying to find out what that was. I'm like, it just doesn't make irrational sense to me. It makes rational sense when I sit and I think about it, and I'm able to appreciate where I'm at right now in this place, right? And this, at this very moment, where I'm at right now and what led me here. Man, I'm eternally grateful. Bro, I'm just talking about myself. I am grateful to have been led here. And I done came through, I've read so many books and went to so many church services and, you know, events at the mosque and different things. I've been exposed to different knowledges, but it all led here. All of it led me here. So I'm grateful. So Hinu to the great Ahati Maat, and definitely to our great Saba and all of you, all of you in the chat, all of the great supporters, males and females. We have a wonderful support system. We have a wonderful family here that, again, we can't fake. You know, we can't make this up. You can't fake the consistency. You know, you can't. It's just you know, just imagine if we would have got here and no one was here. You know, if we would have got here and there was no one here. We were all here at first, but we weren't. You know what I mean? So even to have the community that we have now, it's beautiful, brother. You can't make it up. Very, very, very magical, man. What we've created up to this point, very magical. You know, when I'm able to look at you brothers and be here and see what we've built and see what we're building, and then see what we've built, know what we're building, and then don't know what's coming next, you know, because we are attracting and we are expanding. So everyone brings their own individual piece to this beautiful nation. So, you know, I look forward to everything that that the Natiru have to offer us, because I'm grateful. I'm grateful to even know of a netter and to know knowledge itself, you know. So
can I say
go
one
ahead.
more thing?
Yes, go ahead.
I didn't want to interrupt your build, but now I'm super interested in revisiting when Saba was on the KP show and Billy Carson was on there. I'm trying to remember what happened, but I think for the most part, Saba wasn't saying much. He was just kind of listening, if I remember correctly. Ani Ptah, do you remember that episode?
Yes, I remember. He came right after, like right when Billy Carson would leave is when Saba would come. So they was never there together at the same time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you know, that's kind of how it always happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never.
He commented on what Billy Carson shared. I think I remember it vaguely. I'm gonna go back and watch it.
Yes, because I remember I was looking forward to that, and yeah, right when Billy Carson left is when Saba came in on the KP Podcraft. But yes, there'll come a time because our Saba deserves to be able to access some of these platforms who have more of a masses behind them, and you know, there's some great platforms, and we will be on these platforms to be able to express these tones to a more wide audience, because this is what's to happen. So absolutely will happen. So yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and the synchronicity with that is that brother's down here with me. He's like 20 minutes away from me.
Yes.
So
yeah, there's a lot of great things I like about him too. He's doing some good work in some different areas.
definitely.
So you know, he's definitely someone to build with in the access that he has. So yes, absolutely. Hotep and Henu to everyone. I want to show the support that came in. Show the Cash App House of Aten. So go ahead and support if you appreciate what we're bringing forth for you all. So we'll start with the good brother who was the one to send in support prior to the show as well. Menkhu, who says, Tua, Kes, Henu, Hotep, Natiru, Maat, 333. Hotep, great brother. And then I also share this one. He sends in 1010. Hotep Meri Aten, the December monthly fee, Kes Maat. So this is for the So he is a wonderful House of Aten member. So this is the tuition for to being a member. So shout out to you, Menkhu, for supporting and being an excellent, wonderful member. All right, next we have the good brother Stephen E, who sends in 1111. Henu, House of Aten, Hotep Maat Meri. To our good brother, this is another great member, one of the earliest members of the House of Aten, the great brother Stephen E, also known as Oxafek, that you may see in the chat. So to our good brother, for your support and for everything that you are doing to become who you are, good brother. So peace and love to you. All right, next we have Big Vapes, FKA Righteous, who sends in $10 December membership fee from Potable Damo, also known as Big Vape. Hotep Henu, great brother. Big Vapes, we appreciate you. He is also the during our first talent show, our first House of Aten. Well, this is when we were the Teachings of Maat talent show. This great brother won the first place prize winnings for the very first talent show. So to you, good brother. Look forward to hearing more of your creative work and more of your tone, your sound vibration that you bring forth. We appreciate you, and Hotep Henu. And the last donation that we received in so far for this reading and for this class, we have Minty Hotep, who sends in 555. Hotep Henu, wonderful sister, very consistent, and we appreciate the energy that you bring. A very creative being here. I foresee a lot of wonderful work coming from Minty Hotep. A lot of creative things and recreating what the ancestors brought forth, and she's wonderful with her hands and creating and putting things together, and on the spot too, on the fly, on the fly too. She'll just grab something and put it together. She'll take the Ankh and turn it into a sistrum right there on the spot. So Hinu to you for your creative energy and for your support. And you always supported from the beginning. Okay, so I'll stop sharing. That's the last support we received in houseofaten.org. Let me show that as well. Let me show some of the website.
Come join us, House of Aten, ancient Tehuti and teachings under Teru. Back to the source. We the original Axemen.
Absolutely. So yes, welcome to the houseofaten.org. This is where you find all the information that you need. Here's a chat right here if you want to message me. Here's a way to do it here. Wanting to become a member, you can reach out. Here's the affirmation that Tehuti brought forth that he reads, and we also read and conclude our classes with the Tehuti's affirmation, Anki and Maat. Let's see, the audio recording of Amen and Mope. There are other audio recordings in the works. The next one that I'll be bringing forth is the Maxims of Ptah because it's a very it's the oldest one we have, and it's the one that gave birth and led to a lot of the other maxims. So I also want to have that one as well. So be expecting that one, the Maxims of Ptah audio recording soon. That is on the way. The House of Aten Discord, so you can click on this and it'll take you to our Discord. And this is becoming a member, accepting membership. So if any of you all want to become a member of the House of Aten and assist us in our growth, and also Saba Tehuti is only doing one-on-ones with the House of Aten members. So if you even want to have a one-on-one with Saba, you have to be a member. And this is our mailing list. I send out a newsletter every week with a summarization of the classes that happened the week prior, and all of the information, all of the links, any new things that we're putting out, any information I want to get to everybody. This is the mailing list that you subscribe to right here. And you know, it's free, so just sign up here, and our support links. The Study Guide Sunday section here, where we put our classes as well, so you can come here to find all our classes in one place, alongside the Tehuti pod class as well, and the shop section. So I am working on some new merchandise for the House of Aten for everyone to be able to purchase. So that'll be up here on the website very soon. I just concluded some designs with our great Saba Tehuti, so I'll have those available for you all very, very soon. This is not the actual final design that will be available. But look forward to that. You can also reach out to me if you want any custom design shirts. I can also do custom orders as well. So I have my WhatsApp number on here, and my email, anipatah@houseofaten.org. And you can contact me through either one of these sources here. And this is where you can also purchase the Great Saba Tehuti's ebooks. This is the book that started the teachings of Maat, which then led into the House of Aten, was Secret of the Ages, Volume 1, Stepping Out of the Matrix. You go to our very first video on this channel, you will see the very first 13 videos are us reading and giving our teachings on what the Great Saba Tehuti brought forth. It's a very powerful book, and it goes deeply into the Septuagint and how this matrix was created. So this is a wonderful book to read, as well as Melanin Dark Consciousness. Here, you can purchase these. As soon as you buy these, it goes directly to your email address, no wait time. And here's where you can also download the high quality pictures of the Ma'akaru, the Anki and Maat, and the foundational ideals here that represent the House of Aten. Meet the movement, leadership members. This is where you can find out more information about us, and I also have all of our personal Cash App links connected to each of our images here. So if you wanted to support a member individually, you can just come here and just click on the actual image, and it'll take you to the link of the support system of the leader who you would like to support. Our Discord is here as well, so you can get that. MetaNetter Mondays. This is where you can come and click on this and take you directly to email Saba, so you can email the great Saba Tehuti and a good trailer that that shows some of how these classes go. And then we have the Rumble. So this is where you can also find our Rumble if you want to come here and watch us here on Rumble, so you can subscribe there. All of our classes are also attested here as well. Okay, so this is where you can find everything that you need to support us and find out what we're doing, and you know, get merch, and eventually we'll add more things to the shop section. We also have Ethereum, a wallet as well, for those of you who utilize crypto. Some of you utilize the crypto as well. So this is our Ethereum scan code with our wallet address here. Okay, so yes, this is the houseofaten.org. So you all should have this bookmarked and be spreading this everywhere, and we'll continue to represent what we do. So Hotep and Henu, the website is doing fantastic. During looking at the actual analytics of our website, we're up in the higher, mid 90. We vary between 94 and 97% as a rating, as a website. So we get lots of visits here, and so we appreciate everyone who comes here and spreads out houseofaten.org. We appreciate you all, and it is definitely being reflected. It is definitely being reflected in the analytics that's happening behind the website. Okay, so we got in one more support. So I'll show this, and then we can give our concluding words. Pull this up. There we go. Minty Hotep, offerer of light. I love that. As I stated, the wonderful Minty Hotep, who is an excellent supporter. Tua, she says she's getting paint right now. I don't expect anything less. So Tua, wonderful sister, for everything that you are doing. All right. So we'll go ahead and close out. Unless you brothers have anything you want to speak about specifically.
I don't. Atef, you're on mute.
I think you keep hitting the wrong button.
I'm learning, brother. I'm learning. Yeah. So I'll close it out. I'll let you brothers close out. I'll close out with the affirmation. When you brothers close your final words.
Okay. Yes. Hotep, Maat, Henu, Ma'akaru. To everyone for your support, for consistently showing up every single week, and not only being here with us, but closing down the computer and taking this information and utilizing it daily. For those of you who are a part of the MetaNetter Mondays, showing up consistently, getting the recordings consistently, those who come to the Maat Wisdom Wednesday classes, and who also get those recordings as well. You know, I appreciate and I love you all. So it's wonderful to be around those who represent excellence and to grow with you all. So Hotep and Henu, may you all have a fantastic Nefer week. Sekim Mri, Murder Ka'a, Semu Hatuna Tiru Per In Hetep. I have obtained the power to do what pleases my Ka. May the hearts of the Natiru lead me. I come forth in peace. Hotep and Henu.
Just want to say peace, power, prosperity, and protection to everyone in the chat. May you have a Nefer Opesh. We appreciate you, like Ani Ptah said. Definitely hold firm in this day and time. Appreciate yourself. You're valuable. Know your worth, and remember your true identity. Tua to the great brother Ani Ptah and ATEF for the reading tonight and sharing the energy of our ancestors and the Netaru. Sending out love to our master teacher Saba Tehuti. Looking forward to seeing everyone the next time I see you. So Tua and Meri.
Hotep Maat, beautiful tones, good brother. Yes, it's an honor to share this platform and this energy with all of you, including you two great brothers. Henu to the great Ahati Maat, Henu to our great general. With that, we will close with our beautiful affirmation. Men will both say from today's teachings, from today's reading, men will both say and hear, food is lacking for numerous children, and there is no sustenance from different grains. What would it taste like now? Verily the nobles perish from hunger, and men follow those who once themselves were followers. For the arm of the violent is protection and succor. Verily the unruly man says, if I knew where God is, I would serve him. Verily Ma'at pervades the land, at least in name. But what men do is lawlessness, establishing themselves upon it. Behold, why does God even consider creating men, when the peaceful man is not distinguished from the aggressive? Let him but bring coolness upon their passion, and men will say, he is the shepherd of all mankind, and there is no evil in his heart. Small is his herd, but he has had to spend the entire day to herd them. Authority, perception, and Ma'at are with you, but it is confusion which you have permitted throughout the land, along with the noise of turmoil. Unki and Ma'at, Un and S, Nintet or Set and Ma'at, Min Hapapet and Ma'at, Per in Huqui, Per Iku. I live for Ma'at. I exist within her. I do not speak in the place of Ma'at. Every day I advance towards Ma'at. My being is surrounded in darkness. I come forth as conscious light. Peace and love, Hotep Ma'at.
Join us next week for the great brother Menkhu Ara, the new Blu-ray. Hotep Henu to the wonderful Atef Remkem Ma'at for the wonderful reading of the Admonitions of an Egyptian sage. Hotep, peace and love.
For those who doubt what this may be, second danger round. Wow. For those who think this is not what you saw on the screen, I just want to hear something? Oh! Wow! Wow! Well, this is the real thing. You know when I hear the snake rattling?
Yes.
I want to tell you guys something here. Let me see. I want to show you the example of the black snake rattling. I don't know if this is
This the booty over. Ooh.
I want you to know something. That's not an example. That actually is the one that I'm holding right now. Y'all see anything in front of me with horns?
Yes, yes.
All right, so this is a TEF. This is a TEF right here. Hey, TEF, how you doing? Show them your beautiful head. There we go.
Some of those horns are epic.
You can see it clear on the screen. So there, this is a TEF.
Yo, let's go.
Closed my eyes, then I woke up back in my bed. I could see my room as clear as looking through a lens. See, I thought I was awake, so then I tried to move, but my body shocked me like I was plugged in a socket. I started panicking and scrambling within my mental. I thought I died and now my body, I'm forever locked in. I was screaming, help me, someone help me please. But there wasn't any sound making it through my teeth. I could see movement in motion, shadows gather around me. How could I close my eyes already closed? Eating alkaline at this time, fasting reads no shocking. I was stuck in a paralysis, fear had me froze. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed. I finally started waking up and coming back. I was in the opposite of state's effect. That's relaxed, I grabbed my phone and started to do research. Knowledge of what happened, I was in a lack. Insidious, the movie came direct to mind. Every time I've seen this, it was connected to what's not divine. Demons crawling forcefully, holding the body down. Ain't no point in trying to scream, you will not make a sound. Deep within, I knew I made that a reality. The all is mine, I saw it, and so shall it be. I start replacing fear with knowing universe is mental. Talking to my subconscious to wake me up in dreams. Then one day my spirit guides came in so essential. Daylight's astral playing loud in my dream helped to set me free. I'm back in paralysis, laying on my couch. But this time I was calm, ready to exit out. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed. From what I read, I need to move my arms in front of me. See a rope and pull it, separate and then release. Now I'm out, I see my house is gleaming, I accept it. Looking in the mirror, staring at my car's reflection. I was so ecstatic, flying in every direction. This was months of subconscious reprogramming and redirection. Place my thoughts in my body, wake up, that's what I did. I was reborn from that day so I could start to live. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed.
There is no spoon But I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it.